Desire of Ages, chapter 16, in his temple. At the time of the Passover, Jesus went up to Jerusalem. He had not yet publicly announced his mission and mingled unnoticed with the crowds that were traveling to the city. Among the people, the coming of the Messiah was often discussed, and many cherished hopes of national greatness. During the Passover week, great multitudes assembled at Jerusalem from every part of Palestine and from distant lands. In the outer court of the temple, animals were bought and sold for sacrifice, and money was exchanged for the temple shekel. This traffic had grown into a disgraceful business. The dealers demanded excessive prices, sharing their profits with priests and rulers who enriched themselves at the expense of the worshippers. The temple courts, designed for sacred worship, had become like a noisy market. The lowing of cattle, the bleating of sheep, the cooing of doves, the chinking of coin, and angry bargaining filled the air, drowning the prayers of those who came to seek God. The Jews were proud of their temple and strict in its ceremonies, yet the love of money had overruled their scruples. They had wandered far from the purpose of the service God had established. When the Lord revealed his presence upon Sinai, the place was declared holy, and the people were warned, "Take heed to yourselves, that ye go not up into the mount, or touch the border of it. Whosoever toucheth the mount shall be surely put to death." Exodus 19:12-13. Thus God taught that wherever he manifests his presence, the place is sacred. Yet the temple courts had been turned into a place of gain. Among the worshippers were the poor, the sick, and the suffering. Many were too poor to purchase even the humblest offering, yet they had been taught that without sacrifice the blessing of God would not rest upon them. Their distress awakened no pity in the hearts of the priests. As Jesus entered the temple, he saw the injustice and the sorrow of the people. He saw the sacred enclosure converted into an exchange. Worshippers offered sacrifices without understanding that they pointed to the one perfect sacrifice. Among them stood the one symbolized by all their service, unrecognized and unhonored. Indignation, authority, and power were expressed in his countenance. The noise of traffic suddenly ceased, and a painful silence fell upon the crowd. Then his clear voice rang through the temple arches. "Take these things hence. Make not my Father's house an house of merchandise." Descending the steps and taking a scourge of cords, he drove out the traders and overthrew the tables of the money changers. None dared question his authority, though he struck no one, but in his hand that simple scourge seems terrible as a flaming sword. Priests, officers, brokers, and merchants fled in terror from his presence. The temple had been designed to represent God's purpose that humanity should be his dwelling place. Because of sin, the heart of man had become defiled, but through the incarnation of the Son of God, the purpose of heaven would be fulfilled. After the traders had fled, the poor and suffering remained. Jesus looked upon them with tender compassion. They pressed around him with their appeals, and he healed them all. Parents told their children to praise him who had saved their lives. The priests and rulers returned to the temple and were astonished at the change. With mingled fear and hatred, they asked Jesus for a sign of his authority. He answered them, "Destroy this temple, and in 3 days I will raise it up." They thought he spoke of the temple at Jerusalem and replied that it had been 46 years in building. But Christ referred to the temple of his body. His words pointed to his death and resurrection. Yet they did not understand, and their unbelief was strengthened. When he should offer himself for the sins of the world, those offerings would have no further meaning. In rejecting him, the Jews rejected all that gave significance to their temple and its worship. "In 3 days I will raise it up." Though the powers of darkness seemed to triumph at his death, from the tomb he would rise victorious. Now Christ ministers as the great high priest in the sanctuary above. Seeing then that we have a great high priest, Jesus the Son of God, let us hold fast our profession. Let us therefore come boldly unto the throne of grace, that we may obtain mercy and find grace to help in time of need. Hebrews 4:14-16. This chapter is based on John 2:12-22.